Ndị be anyị ndewonu. Ọ bụ Ada Igbo na-ekwu na Igbo Media. N'Igbo Media, anyị na-ewetara unu ọtụtụ ozi gbasara ihe na-emegasị na Biafra Land, n'ala Igbo na mba ndị ọzọ. N'ụbọchị nke taata, o nwere ihe bịara n'iru akwụkwọ anyị nke anyị ga-agụpụtara unu n'ụbọchị taa. Anyị gụpụtachaa ya, unu egee ya ka ọha n'uju. Ị ga-esie ya, ị drọpụọla your comment, like kwa this our video and gbasakwa ya ka o ruo ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche arụ. Ozi anyị wetara unu tata bụ otu nwanne anyị nwoke, a Biafra activist, dịka o si wetara anyị ozi a n'iru akwụkwọ. Ọ dere sị: Finland embassy shut down after ICC arrest order. Nigerian official. Simon Ekpa's big win. Ya bụ ozi ka anyị bịa tata na Igbo Media. Ị ga-esi anya bụ osi gwa ihe ichere ma mekwa ka ozi arụtụ ụmụnna anyị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Ngwa bịara ya ka ọha n'uju.
As we can call it, is the worst. It has gone out of hand. Every day you wake up in the morning, 200 people kidnapped, 5 killed, 200 killed, Christians murdered, herdsmen with guns, everybody killing, coming from the north to kill. The worst part is that United Nations Security Council has an assistant secretary general, a lady by name Dr. Mohammed Amina, who comes from the same region, the same country. She has never even put up a word to the United Nations Security Council about the human rights abuses in Nigeria. The 5 permanent members and several European countries are doing business with Nigeria. They have never sanctioned Nigeria. I've not seen any document sanctioning Nigeria signed by so many of these countries. We've seen murder, defilement, rape, abduction, kidnap, banditry, killing Christians for the sake of a religion, herdsmen armed by the government, the army in Nigeria killing people. No European country has ever written a statement publicly to condemn the atrocities that are taking place in Nigeria. Our time has come now for us to stand up. How do we stand up? How do we walk? How do we protest? To stand up, to stand against the injustices of these European colonizers. They colonized, they took up resources. They have come back for more resources. Finland looks for resources. President picks a plane and walks around Africa from one African country to another looking for resources, looking for where he can milk without looking at the human rights abuses in Nigeria. What was happening in Nigeria, where he has gone to get lucrative contracts of gas and oil contracts, infrastructure, so on and so forth. These same countries with a democracy of 500 years or so allow Nigeria to go into Finland to try to bribe its way, to kidnap people, refoulement, which has been refused by international law.
African wanting to take President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the AU court. They've remanded Tinubu as regards going to court through the office of the AGF, Fagbemi, through the AGF office, Latif Fagbemi, and they said, the president and Nigeria as a country should come and explain what the injustice they've perpetrated on the people of the southeast and also the middle belt. We also take as regards the Pan-African through the president Fortune and Charumbira taking Nigeria to AU court.
There has been an alliance with the Biafran government in West Africa for a very long time, and they are one of the recognized powerful forum or agency or institute, let me put it that way, that sees to the recognition of fundamental human rights and the privilege for people or for indigenous people seeking self-determination. And they are also very important in this part of the world in Africa because of the role they have played, for a very long time. So Pan-African Institute, I think, is one of the people that came out to alert the world on the injustice that was going on, and not only within Nigeria, within Africa, but I think to an extent they singled out, the Biafran cause of the Biafran agenda, and they have been following it, consistently, especially the one we saw when Simon Ekpa had issues with the Finnish government. The Pan-African Institute or Forum, the 24 hours was always, and still with Simon Ekpa, documenting, trying to find out the position of the Finnish government on the issue that has to do with Biafra Finnish citizen Simon Ekpa. So you can see this agency have continually issued a press statement attracting global attention to the issue of Biafra. So I don't know how he managed to single out Dr. Cho of Ambazonia too. These are the wars already on his table. So it's a recognized and institute, globally, known for what they are doing now concerning people who are being facing extermination, political witch hunt, extreme marginalization, attack, like the one we are experiencing in Nigeria now under Fulani people. So and they are telling us that the Biafrans themselves that do not have right to protect themselves. Is that what the Finnish government is trying to actually say? The way we are seeing the issue we are having with Simon Ekpa in that regard. So Pan-Africa has played a very major role in bringing Biafra to the global world.
Okay, but with this now, do you not think that it's hard time the Nigerian government and Tinubu's government retrace their step as regards insecurity here in Nigeria? There might not be definitely any good result coming out from that angle because it is being suspected. That suspicion is already there. We don't know who that is actually powering the Fulanization agenda, the Islamic agenda, that's going on in Nigeria, the killings, and here, almost all the 36 states of the federation is under Fulani siege. So we don't know which government, but it became extremely a threat since the era of Buhari, Malami, and the rest of them that came into power. APC government become, and we can see that, since Buhari came into power, and then when we started hearing about Meiti Allah, all the stuff like that, groups that are associated with Islamic, activities or pastoral activities that they call it, but actually they are carrying out a killing spree agenda. The first conference to make sure, that I don't know what they intend to achieve with that. So, and you can see the level of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment, to the issue of insecurity. Even while he visited Benue, and they still struck, killed, invaded Nigerian military barracks, killed a lot of military personnel, their soldiers there, and in case so we don't know actually, which government is backing who, because these guys can come up with anything, they can pretend at any given time, they can set up anything at any time, So I think to an extent, if we are beginning to have a forceful movement like the Pan-African movement, to bring these people actually to the book. I mean, there's any way the international community can use such an agency, to actually, bring these people to book, because we don't know the reason why, there's no government in Nigeria, where people are dying, there's no governance, so bring them to book, like the issue we are seeing now of nnamdi Kanu and of course the Simon Ekpa. So although Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be regretting at this point in time, because what he thought would have happened to Simon Ekpa is not what he's getting now. We know the kind of statement that we are calling coming from his administration as at that time, to the extent, and he got in contact with the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, and all of them were making jubilating, that Christopher Musa, Simon Ekpa must fall, and this and that. At the end of the day, now he's facing the court, and I can
can be rest assured there's victory at the end of the day. So that is the game. That's what it is. But one thing you must understand is this. Now you can't take it away that these men might likely be heading to ICC at the end of the day.
So you don't feel that the AU have got what it takes, to make the difference as regards the injustice in Nigeria?
Yeah, if there's a proper evidence being tendered by institutions like the ones we are seeing now, Pan African Institute and the rest of them, yes, they can be brought to book. Definitely, they can be brought to book. There's no two ways about it. They face the consequences. But you can see the way things are now, the way they are doing their things, moving a lot of things, changing directions, and there, and the issue of corruption, and is the AU former president, he cannot be tried. Then, what of those who were engineering their administration to carry out atrocities? They don't fully aware that even in the Nigerian constitution, people have right to defend themselves. So why are you saying that Simon Ekpa is this, Simon Ekpa is that? Somebody who is alerting his own people on the danger of flood agenda in Nigeria, they will simply look for a way to say that it's causing insecurity. I think to an extent, the EU will intervene on this. The international community will intervene on this, and you can see now what they thought. It's not what they are getting in Finland. We see the landmark global victory, celebrated by almost all the major media houses all over the world concerning what the Kenyan government did, concerning nnamdi, and the same thing we are expecting to happen in Kenya, and definitely that is what it's going to be. So it's likely that if they get it right at the end of the day, my brother, we are not far from the truth. This government under APC can likely face ICC.
Samonata in the Finland court in Latin defeated the Nigerian government, defeated the Finland. We saw a video carried on social media in court how the Finnish parliament are exchanging blows over themselves as Samonata has met bail condition, yet the government Alexander Stubb has refused to let him go. There is a serious inter-argument online that the Finnish parliament are fighting over just one person. Who is that man? Which is Samuel Ekpa. Pastor, what has come over the Finnish president? What is happening?
What has come over
the Finnish judiciary?
Yeah, what has come over the Finnish government is the influence of oil and the contract, the relationship that they lost through my Simon Ekpa have restored with Nigeria. That is what has come over the Finnish government. But in their judiciary, the Chukwu Okike Abiama, the God of the Biafra, has put in confusion. Do you understand that word? That song?
No.
He's putting confusion in the midst, in the camp of the enemies.
Confusion.
Yeah, confusion. Because you cannot see the truth and try to bend it. Mazi Simon Ekpa did not commit any offense, he did not commit a crime, but he was voting against his fundamental rights, because he tried to help to the world, to the people of the world who are taking the echoes of the killings of the Christians, the Biafrans to be precise, in Nigeria. They are not taking it serious, and he himself is looking for a way to draw attention of the people of the world, for them to take the matter serious, for them to come for the help of the Biafrans. That is what the Simon Ekpa did, which is not wrong, but Nigeria see it as a reason, and they decide to grab Finnish government. But the God so far, the Bible said in the book of Psalm 24, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. The God, the Chukwu Okike Abiama, who own the earth, who control the affairs of men on earth, and so far Alexander Stubb is matching the earth, so far those judiciary are matching the earth, they will continue to be in the chaos, because somebody, so listen to me and listen good. The Bible said in the book of Genesis chapter 41 that in 39 somebody was in the prison called Joseph. In 41 Joseph needed freedom, and he had to cause confusion in the camp, in the house of Pharaoh. Pharaoh had a dream that nobody, no sorcerer could interpret it except the prisoner. So they need to free the prisoner for the king to have his own freedom from the dream which he had that was giving him problem. But pastor,
us, Samalang also has become so influential in Finland that there's a heated argument in the Finnish
Yes, we have to read an argument because the God of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama Nesia, God is with him. Just the same way God was with Joseph. But you know,
ngwanụ daalụ nne nụ ụmụnne m dịka si na-esere n'Igbo Media. Gịnị ka unu nwere ikwu na nkọwa nke unu gbasara maka ihe unu n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa? Gwa anyị ife iche n'ụdị nke gị, deela ya n'akara kọmentị ka mara ihe i chere, ma chetakwa tụsa ya bụ ozi ka o werete ụmụnne anyị ndị ọzọ ntị. Ndewo na ụmụnne m, ka emesịanụ.